Errors are not in the art, but in the artificers. In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. This most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. I consider my greatest accomplishment to be lifelong celibacy. The way to chastity is not to struggle directly with incontinent thoughts, but to avert the thoughts by some employment, or by reading or meditating on other things. All my discoveries have been made in answer to prayer. He who thinks half-heartedly will not believe in God, but he who really thinks has to believe in God. When two forces unite, their efficiency double. To myself I am only a child playing on the beach, while vast oceans of truth lie undiscovered before me. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. God created everything by number, weight, and measure. The best way to understanding is a few good examples. A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force. All knowledge and understanding of the universe was no more than playing with stones and shells on the seashore of the vast imponderable ocean of truth. Truth is ever to be found in the simplicity and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. An object that is at rest will tend to stay at rest. An object that is in motion will tend to stay in motion. To arrive at the simplest truth requires years of contemplation. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. If I am anything, which I highly doubt, I have made myself so by hard work. My powers are ordinary. Only my application brings me success. Truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. You have to make the rules, not follow them. What goes up must come down. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself, and now and then finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. Live your life as an exclamation rather than an explanation. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. Nature is pleased with simplicity. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. I shall not mingle conjectures with certainties. His epitaph, who, by vigor of mind, almost divine the motions and figures of the planets, the paths of comets, and the tides of the seas, first demonstrated. Where both are friends, it is right to prefer truth. The changing of bodies into light and light into bodies is very conformable to the course of nature, which seems delighted with transmutations. God is able to create particles of matter of several sizes and figures, and perhaps of different densities, and forces, and thereby to vary the laws of nature, and make worlds of several sorts in several parts of the universe. We are not to consider the world as the body of God. He is an uniform being, void of organs, members, or parts, and they are his creatures, subordinate to him and subservient to his will. I understood. I have understood. I do understand. No sciences are better attested than the religion of the Bible. Trials are medicines which our gracious and wise physician prescribes because we need them, and he proportions the frequency and weight of them to what the case requires. Let us trust his skill and thank him for his prescription. What Descartes did was a good step. You have added much several ways, and especially in taking the colors of thin plates into philosophical consideration. If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. The ignis fatuus is a vapor, shining without heat. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide. The Scriptures assures us that the Lord will provide. If you are affronted, it is better to pass it by in silence or with a jest, though with some dishonor, than to endeavor revenge. If you can keep reason above passion, that and watchfulness will be your best defenders. If I have done the public any service, it is due to my patient thought, for the raised, to speak properly, have no color, and then there is nothing else than a certain power and disposition to stir up a sensation of this color or that. The latest authors, like the most ancient, strove to subordinate the phenomena of nature to the laws of mathematics. Centripetal force is the force by which bodies are drawn from all sides, are impelled, or in any way tend toward some point as to a center. The wonderful arrangement and harmony of the cosmos would only originate in the plan of an almighty omniscient being. This is and remains my greatest comprehension. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. I keep the subject of my inquiry constantly before me and wait till the first dawning opens gradually by little and little into a full and clear light. Philosophy is such an impertinently litigious lady that a man had as good be engaged in lawsuits as have to do with her. God in the beginning form matter in solid, massy, hard, impenetrable, movable particles of such sizes and figures, and with such other properties, and in such proportion to space as most conduced to the end for which he formed them, whence arises all that order and beauty we see in the world. Hypotheses non fingo. I frame no hypotheses. We account the Scriptures of God to be the most sublime philosophy. Nature does nothing in vain when less will serve, for nature is pleased with simplicity, and affects not the pomp of superfluous causes. Physics, beware of metaphysics. I know not how I seem to others, but to myself I am but a small child wandering upon the vast shores of knowledge, every now and then finding a small bright pebble to content myself with, while the vast ocean of undiscovered truth lay before me. I have a fundamental belief in the Bible as the Word of God, written by those who were inspired. I study the Bible daily. If I had stayed for other people to make my tools and things for me, I had never made anything. Atheism is so senseless when I look at The solar system, I see the earth at the right, distance from the sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance,